of the messagelabs Enterprise Instant Messenger Administration tool. This presentation will last for approximately 15 minutes and will introduce you to your management and reporting options. Please note that the features available to you may differ from those demonstrated here, depending on the package you have purchased. To start, you will need to log into the URL shown with the user information provided to you in your welcome email. If you have not received this, please contact your messagelabs representative. Once you have logged in, you will see the domain summary screen, which shows the features which are available to the domain shown in the top right-hand side of the screen. We will return to this screen shortly. The domain map screen shows the domains which you have created for your organization. A domain is a container for users and enables you to segment your organization. There are a number of reasons that you may want to create separate domains. Firstly, to provide different features to separate parts of your company. For example, you may only want a group of users to be able to send SMS messages. Secondly, to create divisions within the organization controlling which users are able to communicate with each other. For example, you may want to create a domain for the board which is not visible to normal users. Thirdly, to roll out different address books for different teams within the company. And fourthly, to delegate management of groups of users to different administrators. We will look at creating and managing domains later in the presentation. Next, we will look at the features available in a domain in more detail. At the top of the domain summary screen, we can see the branding associated with the domain, the organization ID, and the full domain name. Also shown is the number of licenses purchased, the number used and available, as well as the number of people who are currently logged onto their pods. The storage option shows you the amount of file storage for sending and sharing files available to each user and the current amount used by your organization. The bandwidth used statistic is for reference purposes only, as messagelabs do not limit the amount of up and downloading of files. The services section shows you which services are switched on for this domain. We will look at these in more detail shortly. The Edit Domain screen allows you to configure standard settings for a domain. The Login Announcement URL controls the welcome screen which users will see when they log into their pod. The Tech Support address configures where emails will be sent when users request help. The admin address will receive virus and security alerts. The IM disclaimer will be added to the start of all IM conversations and can be used to indicate that information is being logged or to remind users about the usage policy. The user desktop pod can be configured with your choice of logo, and the URL is the web page which will be opened when a user clicks on the image. A range of security options are available for password restrictions, including password length, how often users are required to change their password, and restrictions around characters and words commonly found in dictionaries. Lockout settings are configurable to protect against brute force attacks and also to lock unused accounts. The Features area allows you to set defaults for any user created in this domain. These have already been covered in the domain summary screen. It is important to remember that the SMS communication is only one way, and the service allows for an average of 2 free SMS messages per user. If you exceed this, you will be charged at the rate specified in your contract. File sharing is turned on by default for all customers, so this section is for information only. As mentioned before, you need to have existing licenses with Salesforce or WebEx to use these functions. The registration email is the message sent to new pod users and contains the link to allow them to download the desktop pod software. If you need to configure this mail, please contact messagelabs support. To change the settings for a different domain, select it from the list in the top right of the screen. The Domain Connections screen allows you to control communication between users in different domains. Note that all communication paths are bidirectional. If you select a link, then users will be able to see each other. To change which domain you want to configure the links for, select the name of the domain from the Switch Domain menu. The default contexts are the address books which are available for users in a domain. You can create up to 20 separate groups with a total of 500 users in each domain. Users can be added to a group via this screen, but it is easier to use the Edit User screen. If you do add a contact manually via the group screen, you will need to know their pod ID. You can create permanent discussion areas for a specific topic which users can join and leave as they require. When a user joins standing chat, they will be able to see the previous 100 lines of the conversation. A standing chat can be made public, where any user can search and join the chat, or private, where only users who have previously been added to the chat roster can join. If the auto join attribute is switched on, then any users on the roster will automatically join when they log into their pod. Once you have created the standing chat, you can edit the user roster by clicking on the chat's name. Select the Edit Member Roster button and add the users individually or by domain. You can only search the IM in chat history for domains which have logging enabled. In this case, the selected domain does not, so the options are grayed out. This domain does have logging enabled. To search the chat history, you can choose options including the date range, the IDs of the participants, and the keywords and phrases you want to find. This is a list of all of the communications which contain the word demo. You can click on the View Log button to see the text of the conversation. You can see the entire conversation and also click on the names of the participants to get their user information. The Alerts page allows you to create an announcement of an alert which is sent to all of your users. If they are online, the message will appear on their screen immediately. If they are offline, the message will appear the next time that they log in. If you want to limit where your users can log into their pods, you can use the IP restrictions screen to create rules which apply to individuals or entire domains. These rules can be set to allow or deny connections in the same way as a firewall.